Welcome to Relay.
Okay. Hey, everyone. So today, before we get to the fun and ridiculousness and whatever the hell it is that we do every week, Star Citizen news and ranting and drinking and alcoholism and mild other things, I want to take some time at the beginning of the show to talk about something a little bit more serious. If you don't want to hear something a little bit more serious, I'd recommend heading out for just a couple of minutes or muting and coming back later. Whatever, shouldn't take more than 5 minutes. Sorry. So here's the thing. Something absolutely terrible happened this week in the States. It's not the first time it's happened there. It won't be the last, unfortunately. And there's a lot of issues and questions that are being asked and answered and hopefully solved at some point, but that's something slightly separate. I kind of want to take a minute here to talk very briefly about mental health and about talking about it. Something that I took away from this week is that I don't really want people to look around, to look at their friends or, streamers on the internet, people that are out there that they can see and look at them and say, those people all have it really together. They're upbeat, they're happy, they're okay, and I'm not. Because I feel like that's something that a lot of people see, and I'm not sure if it's right. Personally, I suffer from, I don't even know what it is yet. I'm still trying to get some form of diagnosis, some kind of bipolar something, who the hell knows. But as an example, really quickly, I have a writing desk. It's where I write or try to write and mostly fail, rip things up and throw them out. It's been in the front room of my house for a long while, but I don't really like writing in the front room. It's not as nice a room. It's really bright and the sun just, who likes sun? I like writing in the library because the library is a library. It's filled with books. There's a fireplace. It's awesome. But the writing desk is not in the library because it looks better in the front room. It's no big deal, right? A couple of days ago, my girlfriend moved the writing desk into the library without letting me know, as a surprise, to try and, tell me to write, basically. And when I saw it, I broke down and cried for a half hour. No real reason. I just broke down. And that's something that happens to me pretty often, to be honest. I'll be watching a movie and I'll break down. I'll be on the bus and I'll break down. And I'm really lucky. I've got my girlfriend, Cass, to talk to help me through things. But I guess my point is, if you don't feel right, if you're, depressed or confused or hurt or angry or anything, just try to talk to someone. Talk to friends or family or a doctor, or hey, reach out, talk to me. I'm on Discord most of the time. Just find someone to talk to and don't feel ashamed talking. Everyone has problems. Everyone hides them. Nobody likes to talk about these things, but maybe we should. Maybe we shouldn't be hiding them because it's important. So with that, that's all the seriousness I wanted to get out at the beginning. Welcome to our guests. We've got Shiver, Flint, Sunjammer, and we're going to talk about Star Citizen now. So, hey guys, how's it going?
Turn left.
How? Like this way?
That would be right.
I think I'm mirrored.
Mirrored. Well, no. Was he saying that would be right, as in that's correct?
Or right? I have no idea. So this week, I guess this week was basically entirely about ships, wasn't it?
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
So, I guess let's talk about ships. I don't know what else to say or do, really. Except open a beer.
That's how you injured your wrist. repetitive strain injury, just constantly opening beers.
If anyone follows me on Twitter, I posted a lot of tweety things yesterday because Cass and I were building Lego, and every bag of Lego, I opened another beer and would post our progress on the Lego build along with the beer that I was currently drinking. And I got very, very drinked. But it was pretty great.
As a reminder, do not drink and fly.
It's true. Or
good safety
Do not
tip.
drink and operate Lego bricks.
No, at least not heavy ones.
also don't drink and code, because if you do that, you get the AutoDJ.
Oh,
Correct.
ouch.
So I'm going to switch over to something here really quickly while we start talking about ships, because Erris was nice enough to give me a literal shit ton of gifts. So we're going to switch over to the show and tell page and start talking about, oh God, wait, can I not? Oh, this is terrible. How can I can't.
See, that would have worked so good if you just had your act together.
It would have, but I can't from this screen show the gifts. I have to go back to this screen, I think. Okay, maybe I can do it from here. Can I, if I do this, does it show up? We'll see. Hopefully it does.
Major League Pro streaming here.
Hey, I never pretended to be a professional at any of this. So, don't judge me. Let's talk about the Vulcan.
It's a ship, Jim,
Is
but
its
not as
name
we know it.
Spock?
No, it's a ship, AutoDJ. Get your library of things that you search for in order. Shiver.
Of all the ships that I have known, this ship is the most ship. Will someone play the bagpipes and fire the torpedo?
Okay, so let's talk about the drones. What do you guys think about the idea of there being 4 drones? You can run 2 of them at the same time, and they're used to repair, rearm, stuff like that. Is this something that you think will be fun to do in the verse?
Frankly, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah? Why is that?
It's gameplay that is not combat, but it is still combat related, because things get damaged, and it is going to be the smaller crew level of gameplay. It will be interesting to see how they go about all of it and how they set it up. So the gameplay itself will be a factor, but I really am looking forward to this particular aspect of gameplay.
What do you think, Sunjammer?
We've known about drones for a while. I'm sure there was a stretch goal that gave us a drone each. And I believe the one they've been showing in the ATV is the same model as the one that we've seen before. So that doesn't seem to be new. Does three jobs in one, which is interesting. I'm not particularly interested myself in any of those, being an explorer, but it's I want to see the mechanics more than the ship. We've already got a repair ship. We've already got what the other jobs it does. Rearm. We don't have rearming. That's new. So
We
that's
have
interesting.
refueling, but we
We have
got
refueling.
the Starfarer,
Yeah.
which is like the top tier refueling, and we
Yeah.
have the, I can't remember its name right now, which is the top tier repairing. But this is kind of a medium tier that does all
Crucible.
3, right? Yeah. The
Yeah,
Crucible.
yeah. So it doesn't really introduce anything new apart from rearming, I guess. But yeah, it's good to see a ship that's smaller, that's aimed at sort of smaller crew, people closer to starting out, rather than these big, massive ones that we've got already.
Shiver?
Okay, I don't know how long this will be. I apologize in advance, but I think it's cool that they're looking at the mid-level gameplay. You know, you've come into the game, you buy your Aurora, your Origin 300 or whatever, you go up to an Avenger, and then you're like, I want to kind of chill out and see what this refueling and whatever lark is like. So you get that. You've got only a couple of friends, because let's face it, anyone with more than one friend. Who
has more than one friend?
I don't know, some popular
Seriously.
asshole, you know. So I like the fact that they're looking at that sort of small team level at this level of gameplay. And you said about it being fun. I mean, maybe not just cruising around and going, "Do you need help? Do you need help?" Because no one's going to hear you in space. You know, wind down the window and shout out. No one can hear. But
Don't
if
do
you're
that
in,
to what the space is.
yeah,
Safety hazard.
and but if you're at the edge of a battle, you know, a big battlefield or something like that, and you've got people queuing up to get them back into the fight, and it's really highly stressful gameplay, that could be fun for the people that appeals to.
Now, if you look at the GIF that's playing right now, it does look like the front is kind of more armored. Like the whole ship looks slightly armored in some ways. I think it looks great, actually. I love the looks of it. It's very much like a little wee Reclaimer, which is awesome.
A Reclaimer.
It's a Reclaimer, definitely. Yes. But one of the things that I'm wondering is, do you think that this is how they're going to do lots more of the mid-tier ships? Because we've had the low-tier ships, which kind of, I mean, if you look at most of the starter ships, they don't really have any specific gameplay that they're built upon, right? The Mustang can do stuff, and the Aurora can do stuff. And then you've got the top tier
Stuff
end.
confirmed.
Stuff confirmed, yeah. You've got the top end of things, like the Reclaimer is for reclamation. The Starfarer is for fueling.
Starfaring.
The Crucible is for
Crucial things.
Crucialing.
Yeah. But this one kind of has a bunch of different tasks that it performs in the mid-levels. So do you think we're going to see more mid-level ships as a way to fill out those roles, that like this mid-level ship will do a bunch of different things?
I would hope so. Go ahead, Sunjammer.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't know about that, but I hope that we do see a starter ship for each role, or one like this that does more than one role, and then a mid-level ship for each role, as well as a large one for each role. Because I don't know how long the CIG are planning for it to take for us to go from our starter ship, at least those of us that haven't bought everything in the galaxy already, like Clifford. But how long it's going to take to go from your starter ship, in terms of hours of gameplay, to a mid-level ship like this.
Yeah.
And then how long are you going to stay in that mid-level ship before you maybe progress to something that's a bit bigger? Obviously, it will depend on how many friends or org mates or people you can rely on, or how many NPCs you can afford if you ever make that transition, because you may just end up getting into a medium ship and being, okay, me and my mate, this is what we're going to do. This is us for the rest of the time. We're just going to build our little global empire based in this 2-man ship or 4-man ship or whatever it happens to be. But how quickly are we going to transition? Because if there's a significant amount of gameplay at each of those kind of bands, then you want something that you can try each role in each of those bands. If it's a case of we're all going to start off with an Aurora, and within the first day of playing, or your first evening of playing, you've already moved up to your next ship, then we don't really need role-specific small ships, and then it will be all about having ships like this in the medium tier, which are capable of doing very specific things. So you can get you can test and try out those different mechanics. But if you're going to be there in a long time, then yeah, we want role-specific baby ships.
I mean, that brings up a good point, actually.
Go ahead, Otto.
What are you going to do with your Aurora?
Go ahead, Otto.
one thing to follow up on Sunjammer's point of amount of gameplay before you can upgrade to this ship, based off of old information provided by our Lord and Savior Chris Roberts, you have about 60 hours of gameplay from start to getting a constellation. And a constellation is the quintessential mid-tier ship. And based on price point of constellation versus the Vulcan, for example, I would presume about 45 to 55 hours of gameplay before you will be able to afford this quote-unquote entry-level ship for non-cargo, non-combat careers. I do agree that they definitely need single-player level ships in all of these aspects as well. But if this is where they want to start at...
Now, one thing I'm thinking is, I'm assuming that those numbers, that long to get a Connie, is one person. Now, one of the things I've been realizing, and this is actually as I've been playing some of the Sea of Thieves beta, they have 3 options right now in Sea of Thieves. You can have a one-man ship if it's just you. You can have a 2-person ship if it's you and a friend. Or you can have a 4-person ship if you've got 4 people to fit on the ship. And that's it. But one of the things here is I'm thinking about it more and more. And let's say I've got myself and one friend. And we start in Auroras. And the 2 of us are like, you know what? Let's save up. Let's do stuff and save up for a Vulcan. Well, it's not going to take us 45 hours together to earn a Vulcan, will it? It'll take us half because we're going to go in on this together. It's this is a business venture, the 2 of us saving up together to earn a Vulcan. And that's only with 2 people. If you have 3, it reduces the time even more. But you kind of need to have 3 for a Vulcan because you want that many people crewing it, right? So I feel like one of the things that might influence the not only the cost but the length of time it takes to get the ship is how many people you're planning on using that ship with. Because if I'm playing with a bunch of people, I'm gonna try and find the ship to play with them and earn that ship with them to play with them on that ship personally.
So you and 69 friends to make an Idris.
Well, yeah, but I'm also never gonna have an Idris. I don't like that kind of large group play that requires orgs for.
What
right?
are you doing for those hours, though? I mean, what's the measurement here? Where's the gauge for earning? Could I not be more of a risk taker and do it in far less time?
Maybe you could. Maybe you could take out a loan, right? And then have to repay it based on the profits that you earn from your Vulcan. Or maybe you say, you know what? It's going to take too long. Maybe I can loan, or like I can rent the Vulcan.
Rent one, yeah.
Right? I can rent it either from someone who has one or from something else. Because,
for reference, what was it? 50 hours until the Connie? 60 hours. That's 60 hours. So that's, last we heard, basically running through Squadron 42 3 times.
Right. The question,
that's a long time.
It is. A question, though, is that 60 hours and keeping your Aurora? Or what if you've got an Aurora, right? But let's say you decide, you know what? The most profitable thing for me is actually cargo runs. So I'm not going to do all 60 hours in my Aurora. I'm actually going to earn enough for a Hull B, sell my Aurora, get the Hull B, do cargo runs for a while, which will take me less time because it's pure profit for the Connie. And then when I go to get the Connie, I'll sell my Hull B to get the Connie. Maybe I'll do it in 30 hours instead. We don't know how long it's going to take, right? And one of the things about 60 hours is the question of, is all 60 hours of that trying to earn just the ship? Is that like I have to do 60 hours of the most valuable cargo run possible, period? Or is this just 60 hours of me going off and doing whatever the hell I want? And we don't know. I feel like I just ranted there for a bit. If anyone wants to chime in and tell me why I'm wrong, feel free.
I feel you extrapolated and did not rant, but rather addressed the situation with data that we currently do not have, and all the things that need to be taken into consideration by the developers.
That made it sound a lot better than I thought it did. Thank you.
I've got one question though.
Go.
Say, X months down the line, you've got, I don't know, you've got a Retaliator bomber and you're pleased as Larry, but you have still got this Aurora left over from when you first started playing the game. What are you going to do with it?
Join Tess and
ram it into a ship? Are you just going to leave it in a hangar? Or?
No, you join Tess and ram it into a planet, obviously.
You don't have to join Tess to do that,
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. I think the Vulcan is a pretty cool ship.
What I'm trying to say is, say you've got so many players that have played this for so long, and as the game progresses, fewer and fewer Auroras are going to be used and seen throughout the game. So do you think, first of all, that CIG even need to tackle that it's even an issue of what's going to make the Aurora appealing to someone who's been playing the game for 3 years later down the line? What can he still use this Aurora for? Or do you think it's a non-issue and it should just sit in your hangar and gather dust forever?
You know what I think?
Sunjammer?
Sorry, what? I was typing.
On what?
There was a joke about Larry.
Who's Larry?
Exactly.
Oh. Larry of Arabia?
No, that's Lawrence.
Oh, my bad. Well, so here's the thing with the Aurora. If you've got an Aurora and you've been playing for 3-4 years, and this is something that CIG talked about a long, long time ago, and they haven't talked about as much since, but I'd really like them to follow up on and say if it's still the plan. Because one of the things they were talking about originally was you've got a 2942 Aurora, but then there's a 2943, 2944, 2945. And when a 2942 Aurora gets blown up and it gets replaced through insurance, it's not going to be replaced with another 2942. It'll be replaced with a 2943, 2944, 29. So maybe there will be people that hang on to their original Auroras because in a decade, those will sell to collectors. There will be someone that wants
for roughly 5 more UEC than they were bought for.
Maybe, or maybe it'll be more. We don't know what that kind of economy will breed in the game.
I mean,
right?
I suppose they would have to, because everyone's
wants
saying, why don't you just sell the Aurora to a used ship business? Well, because that's what everyone else did before, and before long, you're just going to have saturated the Aurora market or whatever ship market, and
it won't
there's
be
not
worth
going to be
much.
enough.
There's going to be an entire planet somewhere that's just like Auroras stacked on top of Auroras.
The way you
In
address
junkyard,
the
giant
oversaturation of
giant
Auroras,
ship,
though,
and
is you just have to blow more of them up.
It's true. I really
think Operation Pitchfork will get rid of most of them.
I really hope that Operation Pitchfork actually gets rid of a lot and people take stuff in. But this is actually one of the questions, one of the concerns that's kind of been with Star Citizen since it started the Kickstarter is you've got people who have all the ships, right? And there are so many ships at this point that you're actually going to be hard-pressed to fly every single ship for a reasonable amount of time once the game comes out, right? So why wouldn't there still be people just flying their Auroras, right?
The other thing that you do want to keep in mind with this is, what if you just feel like going out and doing something single player?
Yeah. Sure, I've got my Vulcan.
All you have is
Then you've got
for 3 people.
Yep. I feel like there will be a use for everything, even further down the road. I really feel, and maybe there won't be as much of a use for an Aurora once you've bought a 300i or once you've bought an Avenger that you prefer or something, and maybe at that point the Aurora isn't worth as much. But there will always be a use for a single seat ship or an early multi-crew ship, right? Just, oh, you know what? Brian can't make it tonight, so we're not going to take the Vulcan out. Let's go dick around in a Reliant, because that's too...
Sake, why is Brian always pissing us around? He cancelled on us the other night because he was babysitting. Why is he always... We've got to start excluding him, you know. There's no point. We need a replacement for Brian.
He doesn't even have a baby.
You can hire an NPC.
But an NPC would be, you know, proficient, whereas Brian is terrible, which makes it hilarious to play with him.
Oh, he doesn't bloody show up, though.
It's true.
Plus, the
Which is
NPCs
why
have
he's
personality.
Okay, I want
We
to
can
get...
load jokes into the NPC script.
So I want to talk quickly about the Mustang, because we got some what looks like gray boxing of the new Mustang, or white boxing. I think it's white boxing. Anyway, it looks good. It looks
better.
I'm
Go ahead.
really mixed on it.
Really?
I'm mixed on it because I kind of like the old design simply because it looks more chunky, more angular. However, this is going to become the new style of consolidated Outlands. And it feels almost too Origin-like compared to the far more directly triangular shapes and lines that the original Mustang had.
Do you hope that they actually keep the original Mustang and make it an earlier version of the new Mustang in game? Like, is this one of those places where they could do that and say, oh, this is the original Mustang? Yeah, that was like our Tesla Roadster. This is now our, like...
Is that why they're in space?
Yes.
It would definitely be nice if they would do that. However, it would require an entire redesign and rebuild of the original Mustang. That is another amount of man hours that needs to be put into and send that entire ship through the pipeline for something that over time will go completely extinct. Is that a good use of their time? I don't think so. As such, I highly doubt that we will see it, even though I would absolutely adore for that to happen.
I think you could see it if you go to Consolidated Outlands head office and look in the foyer and look up. And there'll be one hanging there. But you won't be able to fly it. You won't be able to use it. I mean, it's got too many problems. That's why they had to redesign it. So if you, as AutoDJ says, if you want to make it fix those problems, you're going to end up doing what you're already doing now or something very similar to it. But I agree. He actually stole my point, which was it looks very Origins now, which I hope means that like the 300 series is going to turn, get, you know, quite a radical rework and be a bit more 600-y, and get that kind of, what they call it on ATV, bubble or art.
I will say I really don't like the cockpit on this Mustang. I don't like how it does look like a bubble. Like, the cockpit is not angular. The rest of the ship tries to be angular, and then there's just this circular bubble at the front. I don't like it. Put in some struts. I don't care if pilots can't see all the way around. Fuck them.
As much help as you can get if you're in a Mustang.
So, yeah, it's true. Reclaimer. Oh, the Reclaimer.
Those
My
animations.
question about all of the effort that they are putting forth into the Reclaimer's landing gear. If you are close enough to see all of that in action, you are probably going to get crushed.
What if I've got a pair of binoculars? They'll get crushed too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's big enough.
Get crushed by the arm if you're standing that far away.
I think that the Reclaimer is still phenomenal. It looks like one of those jumping spiders when it's landed.
Yes. It is terrifying.
I love it.
We're back on Desi Izzard again with jumpy spiders.
Yeah. It's amazing. I can't wait to fly my Reclaimer. I can't wait.
I have kind of fallen in love with it since they've started showing it off. I couldn't have. I still kind of don't really care about it. It's not for me, but I do like it. It is sexy.
It is, in my opinion, the best looking ship in the verse. Anyway.
No, it's absolutely not the best looking ship in the verse, but it is awesome.
It's the best looking ship.
It is the ugliest ship in the universe, but it looks pretty awesome. It looks exactly how it's supposed to look for the job that it does.
Yes.
It nails it on that respect. I just can't wait to get in and see what it's like inside. That's the great thing about these big ships. I mean, it was when we got the Starfarer for the first time in the hangar, and you walked into it, and after 10 minutes, you were lost.
Yes.
And you were like,
yeah,
how do I get somewhere?
And
I'm
it's
some Jeffries tube somewhere in one of the end bits, and I want to get to the bridge.
And it's hilarious because the Starfarer is still the biggest ship we have that we can walk around in, right? And it's honestly kind of tiny when you compare it against something like a Reclaimer. Like it's...
Yeah.
Or, heaven forbid, an Endeavor. You're gonna get lost in these ships. I can't wait. Okay, so next up is the Terrapin. The Terrapin is looking like a turtle.
As it should.
It's a ship.
Yep.
I heard someone complain. Well, their observation, complaining is unfair. Their observation was, why the fuck is there a chair right in the middle of the damn space? Isn't that completely inefficient use of space?
Chairs in space probably wouldn't do very well. You'd probably suffocate.
That's a Shiver joke.
I know. It was great.
Revenge. Best served cold.
Sunjammer,
Yes.
you said that you were interested in exploration.
Yes.
The Terrapin is an exploration ship.
Yes.
Are you going to fly one?
No.
Why not?
Because I got a Carrack.
Okay.
I
mean, that's accurate.
315. I didn't know that the Terrapin was an exploration ship. I was a bit confused because I transcribed the Terrapin bit this week. So I was sitting there going, exploration? I thought this was a military scout ship originally. And I was thinking, has its role changed, or am I just misremembering something? But I was like, all this armor? Is the Carrack going to have all this armor? Is my 315 going to have all this armor? How's this working out? It just seemed to me that its role has changed, but I could be completely wrong about that. However, seeing it and hearing the guys talk about it and actually seeing it kind of in engine now, it looks a lot better. When it first came out as concept, I was like, don't care, which is usually my approach to all the concept ships, because I'm just like, oh, another ship. Well, that's what's that, 114 now? Really? 5 years? I'm a bit bored of ships. Can I have some gameplay, please?
No.
Maybe a new system, maybe some debug of movement of feet.
Where's my game?
Yeah, hashtag. But seeing it now, it's a lot cooler than it was. And yeah, the new kind of roles that they've been spelling out for, I was like, okay, exploration. That did tweak my interest a bit, but I still don't think I'll get one. We'll see.
What do you think, Otto?
From an exploration standpoint, I agree. It is still a military scout ship. However, scouting is part of exploration. The difference between the exploration of going to unknown space that no one has ever seen before, such as a Carrack, versus going to space that has been explored in the past and has been documented, you still need to get current data on it, and it ties in with the data runner aspect of exploration. I do feel that it is an interesting ship. I look forward to playing with one, at least using my organic clone device thing that will let me explore systems occasionally. It's going to be an interesting ship. I do kind of look forward to it having one of the more robust exploration suites compared to, say, the 315P or the Hornet Tracker. I think the Hornet Tracker is most analogous to it, though.
One of the things I'm thinking about the Terrapin versus something like, say, the Carrack, is the Terrapin is really good for frontline exploration and going down to planets that might have really harsh environments, or going down into enemy territory and being a scout ship for them because it's got so much armor. But it doesn't seem like it's as good for, say, bringing things back.
No.
Right? I mean, the Carrack has the ability to land, get into either the scout ship or into the rover and actually explore the planet, find things, take them, bring them back, and do science. Because the Carrack is more of an exploration science vessel, whereas the Terrapin is more of a extremely harsh conditions, get in there, survive, and get data and get out. So I see them both as exploration, but they fit two different types of exploration to me. Like, I think it's pretty good.
Are you thinking that the Terrapin is kind of the ship that goes in first to an unknown, potentially hostile environment, goes in, kind of does the initial readings, gets out and says, hey, there's this new place. It's like this. So then the Carrack can go in and do
exactly. That's actually exactly what I think. They go in,
a scout ship for Carrack or something, because it's got the robustness and but the only downside is it can't fit in the Carrack.
Yes, but it's not really supposed. One of the things that people keep asking is everyone wants pocket carriers, right? And I don't want pocket carriers because that's what creates the ecosystem and the commerce system of the verse. Is I've got a Terrapin, I go down, I found a planet that looks awesome and it's survivable, and a Carrack could get on there, and there's like wildlife to document and catalog and stuff, and I'm like, you know what, only I know the location of this planet. I'm gonna sell that location. Whereas back in his Carrack, Sunjammer's like, I want somewhere new to look at. Oh, someone's selling a location that is safe for my Carrack and has science to do and this and that. Sunjammer will buy that from me, go down there, make his money, and then he's going to put up, I've got all this information on this kind of wildlife, and I've got new grains and shit, and I've got new trees that can be grown that grow this really weird fruit. I'm going to sell all that to an Endeavor pilot.
And fucking Brian's not going to get anything.
Yeah, because fuck Brian.
He wasn't there, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I'm going to get all the information for all these land claims, and then I'm going to sell them to the UEE, and the UEE is going to then sell them all to the Goons, and the Goons are going to take over the planet.
Yeah.
Test Squadron or any other big org.
That right there is kind of what I want from the Star Citizen economy, and what I think they're going for is everything does have a role, and all the roles kind of mesh together, but different things for different people. Yeah. Anyway, what else?
Brian.
Yeah, except Brian, because fuck Brian. I want to quickly look through this. The Terrapin's scheduled for Alpha 3.1, which should be a month or so.
Hang on.
What?
You skipped over the sexiest ship they showed us this week.
Also,
The
Constellation Phoenix.
No, I want to make another point as well about the Terrapin before you leave that subject.
Phoenix. Okay, go ahead. Terrapin?
Yeah, so one of the things that I thought, what was actually very interesting that they touched on, that was they brought up in relation to the Terrapin, was we learned a little bit more about how thrusters are meant to work. So they talked there about the fact that the implementation that we have for thrusters at the moment that everyone complains about in the flight model, it isn't complete. One of the things they haven't taken account of at the moment is heat. If you overheat your engines, they will become less reliable, more erratic. They will introduce errors. So that gives us a little insight into some of the kind of engineering gameplay that might be happening. You've got to obviously control the heat. And they also talked about different types of thrusters. So all the thrusters that we have, by and large, at the moment are sort of instantaneous or instant thrust that are used for maneuvering thrusters. Whereas the Terrapin, and this is why they brought it up, is the thrusters it have are sustained thrusters, which you can use for VTOLs, and they talked about how these will be required for if you're wanting to go into atmosphere. So instantaneous thrusters are great for when you're in space, because you just do a burst of energy and then you maintain the momentum. You know, Newton's laws and all that, you fly off. And then, but in atmosphere, obviously, you're fighting against gravity the whole time. So you need the sustained thrusters, otherwise they will overheat. So that's interesting. So that's something that we hadn't heard before. That was, I thought, new information. So
excellent point.
Yeah. No, I like that they're adding more detail to the thrusters and stuff, and it makes me think that once we get the ability to do more engineering, maybe you'll be able to sacrifice thruster speed for like higher resistance thrusters that won't burn out so quickly, so you can thrust longer without damaging your thrusters, but not as quickly and stuff like that. And you can make...
Yeah.
Shiver, are you trying to make a sex joke because I said you can thrust longer?
No.
No, he wouldn't stoop
good.
that low.
He wouldn't. Okay, so...
Shiver never goes below the belt.
Because Shiver was really excited about it and then made that face, AutoDJ, what do you think about the Phoenix that they showed off?
I am really, really, really looking forward to the Phoenix. They have made that look like a proper luxury ship. The term baller that they have used to describe it is very, very apt.
Hashtag Josh Coons.
What just happened? Did anything happen? Nothing happened. Everyone just stopped talking. Really weirdly. Yeah, it was just like, done. Because this is my show and I interject my opinions into everything, I think the Phoenix is ugly as hell. It's the fifth ugliest ship in the verse. I don't care for it, and that is all.
It looks like 10 Forward now from Star Trek TNG.
I never liked 10 Forward.
But you like Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah, but I never liked the bar. It didn't feel like a bar.
No, that's a fucking lie. I never thought I'd hear you say those words in my life. I didn't like the bar.
Well, because it doesn't look like a bar should look.
It's got alcohol behind the place. What more does the bar need?
The tables don't fit. Those are not drinking tables.
Don't drink at the table. Drink in a hot tub.
Thing you have to keep in mind with those particular tables is they serve synthahol, which you cannot get drunk on at 10
No,
forward.
you can get drunk on synthahol, but you don't get the hangover afterwards. They just wanted to create something that was amazingly magical, because one day they were all in writing scripts and they said, I'm fucking hungover, and they were all fucking hungover, so they invented synthahol.
I mean, that sounds about right. So I'm gonna tell everyone to start.
Hang on. So the Phoenix, right?
No, First, Shiver, guys, ask some questions, because we don't have enough questions, and if we don't have enough questions when we hit question time, I'm gonna sing.
Oh God, please ask questions.
Quickly,
ask questions.
ask questions.
Carry on, Shiver.
So, with the whole luxury thing coming first in the Phoenix, I got it because I like killing, and it seemed to have a little bit more versatility on the weaponry front than the rest of the constellations. So basically what I'm saying is, do you think they've forgotten that you can go around killing in the Phoenix as well? Or did I get the wrong end of the stick, which is entirely possible?
I think the Phoenix is good for killing, but it's actually less good for killing and more good for keeping its VIPs very safe.
How can you do that if you can't do killing?
Well, you're not supposed to be
Disable
killing. You're just you've got like 70 size 1 missiles. The point of Phoenix is just, oh, there's an attacker. Launch all the missiles till it runs away.
Didn't it have the automated point defense cannon or something on it as well?
I think
It
so.
does, correct.
Yeah,
It's
And
a very
the hidden-
defensive ship.
it's not about killing. It's about scaring things away.
And it
not
had the
getting
hidden
killed while
smugglers
that's
bit, and it came with a piano.
I hope you can
Think of it like a porcupine.
I hope you can
A
play the
porcupine
piano.
is covered in
Well, I couldn't before.
a por-
Go ahead, AutoDJ.
Think of the Phoenix like the porcupine. It is covered in weapons. However, all of those weapons are defensive in nature, designed to keep it safe, not go out and kill things with.
Also, like the Phoenix, a porcupine eats trash and is a terrible animal. I just love watching Shiver's face. It's great. Okay, so I'm going to check. Okay, we got 3 more questions. So
It's not enough.
it's not enough. But we're still going to move on to the questions. Or wait, no. First, I want to quickly run over anything else in the news. Terrapin, thrusters, anvil, analog, anvil, art, calyx, Vulcan prices.
It's like a Zeb Webster says it's like a presidential limo. It's not made to attack, but to defend itself. Exception, it is also made to run over hippies.
Which, the limo or the Phoenix?
Yes.
Okay.
Since the days of Nixon.
Fair enough.
Wait, the Phoenix was... Wow. Anyway, I think the only thing that I was saying earlier was that the Anvil Terrapin should be released in 3.1, which should be in about like a month and a half-ish if they keep to the schedule. And before we move to the questions, I do want to do a really quick roundtable of, do you think that they will get 3.1 out on time, starting with Shiver? Go.
I'm going to be optimistic, and because they must have been working on more than 3.0 for this time, because things must be finished. So I'm going to say that this one, they'll make it, and if they don't, it's now my fault because I've said that, and I'm sorry, everyone in the world.
Sunjammer?
I think they'll make it because there's nothing in 3.1. So, if they don't, it's just
Wow.
a performance patch. It's all the stuff that should have been in 3.0. So it's really a nothing patch. 3.2 is the first actual content patch we're going to get this year. So
Sunjammer
we got a
throwing
couple
salt.
shade.
Shade?
Yeah, I'm
But you
throwing
can
shade,
fight in
so-
that.
Yeah. Stealth
AutoDJ?
mode.
I fully and completely expect them to miss the date on this one because I have a week off scheduled directly after the release of this patch.
Yeah, you're screwed. That just screwed it.
AutoDJ,
It wasn't Shiver.
It's your fault.
It was
Yeah.
you having a week off. Yeah. So everyone blame AutoDJ. Okay.
Can I jump in?
What's that?
Can I jump in very quickly and do a
You-
bit of shilling?
You can, because you jump in. I'm gonna really quickly grab another beer.
Okay. Well, it wasn't anything too exciting. It's not going to take very long, so you better be quick. All I wanted to say was BritisonCon 2018 is in 62 days on the 21st of April. It's in Manchester at the Radisson Blu Hotel. This is the 3rd year. I've been the last 2 years. It's been a lot of fun. So come on down. You get to hang out with lots of Star Citizens fans and a bunch of devs.
I do actually have a question for Shiver.
Go, AutoDJ.
Sure.
What's
I
the
didn't do
question?
it. Nobody saw me do it. I can't prove anything.
Do you plan to take part in the head scanning, which has been recently been announced?
No. No.
Why not?
Oh.
Can you wear a me
Because
mask?
I was really hoping to have your head scanned into game so that I could blow you out in an airlock.
Well, I mean, if you buy
Death's
me
too
dinner
good for
first, who knows what could happen, Auto?
Rapid decompression. That's what would happen.
Is that what the kids are calling it these days?
Shiver insists on getting dinner before he gets blown.
I like that, Tom Trustworthy. That's good. I like it. That's pretty good. I'm glad that BritizenCon happens. It's been happening for a number of years now. It's great. I wish I could get to the UK to go. I think it would be hell of fun.
Brian Chambers can make it. Why can't you?
Because flying literally terrifies the absolute shit out of me.
Yeah, but you're the world record holder in the number of
it's true
flights ever.
And I don't want to test that record again.
There are pilots that wish to aspire to your number of consecutive flights.
It's true.
Without death.
4.
Yeah.
Like that one who was piloting MH370. Oh, never mind.
That was bad. I do hope. I would like them to send that kit elsewhere. I really hope that kit hits CitizenCon this year, because I'd like to get my head scanned. I'd shave.
Do you still have to do the shave for that now?
I think so. Yeah, I would shave for it.
Yeah, you've got to be a proper star if you don't want to shave. Because if you don't shave, it basically your beard gets
in the way,
permanently part of your face.
Yeah.
Whereas they want the heads for the head morphing, the DNA technology that they do for the characters. So,
Flint,
I'm
be
still
willing
trying to get
shave
over this. The consequences of if I did go and get my head scanned in the game, and it'd be like, I don't like the thought of all these people hunting down all these NPCs that look vaguely like me just to go and hit them or shoot them in the face. I'm not sure I like people getting that much practice in.
I think it'd be more weird to meet myself in game. Like,
well, you can make your own character exactly like yourself. You just take your head and don't morph it with anything else. So you could actually appear in game, and then you could get a beard that looks just like your beard. And
I'd love it. Okay, let's go on to the questions, because I think we might have enough now to keep me from singing.
Oh, thank God.
Maybe.
I mean, that's a shame.
It is. Brivals asks, do you think that CIG should clarify what a starter ship is before every ship they call a starter ship? Because now they're calling the Vulcan a starter ship.
It's easy. A starter ship is any ship that doesn't punch above its weight class.
In CIG's defense for this particular aspect of starter ship, they clarified that it is the starter ship for the careers path. It is not an official starter ship or an entry-level ship or one that you can acquire with a game package to start the game with. It is the entrance into the careers of refueling, repairing, and rearming, not a generic starter ship.
What Otto said. Next question from Tom Trustworthy. Shiver, if you had to pick, what COF song is your favorite?
Dusk and Her Embrace or Lust More Than Orgasm. Oh, they did a pretty fine cover of Hallowed Be Thy Name, but that's not really theirs, so.
Brybase asks, what did you make of Calyx mentioning maneuvering thrusters overheating in gravity on the last ATV? What effect, if any, do you think that this will have on atmospheric flight? And what else would you like to see to make it more realistic looking?
What do you think, Sunjammer?
I just refer you to my earlier answer.
Otto, any thoughts on the
Please
thrusters?
replay the podcast. Or please rewind the podcast to review prior answer.
Like a choose your own podcast adventure. Go to this timestamp to continue.
Yes, you've selected to.
I guess the
orc.
addition to the question here is, what else would you like to see to make it more realistic looking? I think they mentioned it like 2 years ago in that Connie the Citizen Con with the Worm and the Connie, because the Connie had to land because the winds were too high. And I want to see ships that, I mean, a Reclaimer should get thrown the hell around by winds, but like something sleek and aerodynamic shouldn't. And I just want aerodynamics to kind of...
I think they have said that it will matter.
They have. I just want
They have,
to...
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime they've
could I
talked
just-
about the aerodynamics, they've talked about that.
One other thing that would be nice in Atmo, or not in Atmo, but in Gravity, is
Force feedback, but no one's got a joystick like that anymore.
no. One thing that would be nice is like a max, because we've got cargo load, right? You've got SCUs, but what if there was also like a max weight? Right? Like your hull B can only take off from a planet with X amount of weight on it.
You know, you're basically literally talking rocket science.
Yes, I am literally talking rocket science. But like,
I've
if
got
you...
to use every fucking board on the keyboard, and I don't know what half that shit does. Now you want me to work out the Delta V just to take off because I've got a fucking loo on here because someone redesigned the Cutlass that doesn't have one. So now they need an emergency delivery
Sure.
of toilets.
The keys on the keyboard, all of them, generally will input letters or symbols.
Shit.
It's true. No, but like, you could take off with a certain cargo on one planet, but on a higher gravity planet, you wouldn't be able to take off with it because it would be too much for the thrusters that you have. I want that. So,
Yeah, but then that
Well,
might
surely
lead
we'll get
to...
that.
It might lead to players being stuck, like
Good.
in a bad way.
fuck 'em.
Yeah.
In a bad gameplay way of, it's now stuck. Full stop. Done.
Yeah, but one of the things
No, you just unload your cargo.
one of the things that seems really strange for gameplay is I just killed a hull B. I can't just like press a button and collect all of its loot. I have to actually get out of my ship and float over there and grab what I want. That in a traditional game design sense is terrible. That's like, I killed an orc, now I have to lift up its loincloth and find the broadsword hidden there. Right?
That's
Wait,
not a
it had a
broadsword.
It's not a broadsword.
But what I'm saying is that's
Very
kind of what
simple as
CIG are going for, right?
Yeah.
Well, that, or they'll have a nice big scoop that you can just,
Scoop up the broadsword.
yeah, scoop up the broadsword.
Yeah.
Or
Um,
if you're
move
in a
on.
caterpillar, you just open the doors and then move sideways, strafe sideways, and everything just goes into your cargo bays.
Before we move on, the whole maneuvering thing with thrusters and things, I think a lot of HOTAS or dual joystick users will notice that a lot because you feel your ship a lot more when you're using joystick. And if you know, what you're used to moving gently to the left and doing some fine maneuvers actually turns into quite a hassle. You're sort of pulling on it and it's not responsive. And you do feel these things when I think you use a HOTAS more than if you were using mouse and keyboard.
Everyone should use HOTAS for flying. It just feels better. Master of the Harry Muff asks, will G-forces apply in the cockpit seat only? At the moment, G-forces only apply to the player sitting in the cockpit seat while, other players can walk effortlessly throughout the ship. Will this change? I do believe it will change. I think they actually mentioned at one point 2 to 3 years ago about the about like placeables will have to be like locked down in place, otherwise they'll fly all around in the ship because the whole ship will be affected by G-forces. And I kind of expect to see down the road, especially when you're in Atmo, if you go and like turn upside down.
We'd need magnetic boots, you know.
We would.
No, I think there's a better solution, something else that maybe like an intelligent thruster pack or something that would maybe align you to surface. Could they do that?
That's pretty
Or would you
crazy,
want that
man, but it
thruster
just
pack
might work.
firing while you're inside the ship.
Yes. Brybase asks, what do you make of the indication that freeform quantum jumps might not be coming back, mentioned on yesterday's ATV? I've got a feeling that this is going to be purely for the Pathfinders and Explorers.
I'm personally torn on it. I think that it definitely should remain in game. I understand the gameplay reasons that they don't want to do that, and I think they will eventually come up with a cost benefit as how they can go in and set that up. You may need some specialized equipment to be able to do it, or it may only be able to travel so far, or rather than pointing to a target, spooling up and going like you can do with a prearranged point, it may be you have to set your target, point your ship towards that target, and then it's going to take 30, 45, 60 seconds for your system to calculate, scan, and all of that so that you can hit quantum to that particular point. Otherwise, what's going to be the point of being able to lay down your own quantum markers? Because, okay, so I just flew 10 hours for 15 seconds worth of quantum travel. That's not quite
worth it. Yeah.
viable.
It's the problem that people want to be able to do, just like turn to a heading and hit quantum and go, or would they be satisfied with just going into the star map and plotting a course to a point in space, but not necessarily to a marker? Because at the moment we are locked into the fact that we can only plot it to us an individual marker to a predefined point. But if you could just plot it to an arbitrary point, would that be satisfy people?
I think one of the problems.
I'd still rather just be able to point and go.
I don't like the point and go. I like the plotting a marker on a map more. But I think one of the problems that this is kind of engendered by is that space is big. If I look at
crazy,
if I look at
crazy,
Chris's previous game, Freelancer, you had the specific trading lanes that you flew along, and anytime you left those trading lanes, it took a while to get anywhere, and you'd only leave those trading lanes to go to specific places. And I know it's not as open, but what is the point of going off into the middle of nowhere if there's nothing there?
Hiding from your pursuers. Ambushes.
And there's always something there.
But that's the problem, right? How difficult is it going to be for CIG to make sure that there's always something there when even one system in Star Citizen is going to be bigger than just about every single other bloody freaking game world ever fucking made?
Isn't the game actually aware of whether or not there is a human being in its cluster? Otherwise, it's because that's one of the performance savers. You've got everything going on in the universe at the same time, but it's only being graphically rendered if someone's there. I'm sure this is going to be discussed one day in a philosophy class. But basically, it's running the simulation in the background for whatever system. So that's just going on and on. But if then there's a human in there, it's got to render that, and it's aware of that. So it could still be like, oh, human, do things, try and kill it. And render appropriate things. But then the other thing is, the term was free-form quantum jumps, and you could still have freedom of quantum jumps to go anywhere without it being free-form. They might be saying, and this is unlikely, but they might be saying, you can do a quantum jump in any direction without a particular coordinate, but only to X distance, but only after it's done so much, because emergency quantum jumping is surely going to be a thing to escape. That's that's got to be in there, and you're not going to have time to sit there and get a map out and calculate on your radar when you're being shot. So I would imagine that there's going to be something in there. It may not be as freeform as just go over there, but it could be something extremely similar and near enough to the effect, but for balancing or gameplay reasons, it won't let you just go anywhere in one jump.
Yes. Triangularity asks, is it possible to hear your singing voice, Erris?
No,
No,
only
it's
cats
not.
can hear it.
Technically, yes it is. You can listen to the holiday issue of Data Corruption, where Erris has provided the base with Christmas carols. Unfortunately, it does tend to set off a few alarms.
Yeah. This did happen.
Yeah, most of the alarms are in the FBI data centers, and then they come knocking at your door.
Brybase asks, and Brybase is being very, very clear to mention that Brybase is not Brian. With all of the remakes incoming, like the 300 series Avenger and Mustang, are any of these ships turning your head? Are you going to grab something that you have long since upgraded from? Personally, no. Personally, I have decided that I will not be buying any more ships. I will earn them in game when the game launches. I've spent enough on Star Citizen. Oh, thank you, Super Serious.
Thank you, Super Serious.
You can't see it, but I am joining Erris in the wave.
Wacky Wailing Inflatable Arm Tube Man.
Yeah, that's for me. I won't be buying any of them. I love the look of the Avenger. I'm really glad they're fixing it up. I can't wait to see what they do with the 300 series. I really like the 315p. I want one, but I'll get one in game. How about you, Sunjammer?
Well, I already have an Avenger, so I'm extremely happy about the fact that it's getting made bigger. I'm hoping that the 300 series gets as I said before, kind of a radical new look to make it more Origin-like, because the Origin look has completely changed from the old 300s, and I've also got 315p, so yeah, I hope that changes. Other than that, I'm actually a bit like yourself. Once I've got my character, I stopped buying ships. I was like, I have spent more than enough on this game. I will now just sit and wait for and watch all the good things that come out, and I'm quite patient about that, and looking forward to it. But yeah, from now on, it's just physical merchandise and events, I think, for me. But that's not to say I wouldn't possibly melt one of my ships if a nicer one came along. But I'm quite happy with them at the moment. But Avenger looks good. Look really happy about that.
Oh yeah, I didn't even remember. I still have a. What? Apparently, I still have an Avenger.
There you go.
Yeah. How about you, AutoDJ?
I will not encounter this problem as I have access to the base's bank account. As such, I have the title of every ship in the game already assigned to my ID, aside from an Erris or Javelin.
Nice. oh god, I've spent a lot of money on Star Citizen. Ugh. How about you, Shiver?
I want an Avenger. I want to get another Avenger. I had an Avenger, and then I think it's now a Gladiator, and now they've redone the Avenger, and I want the Avenger again.
The Gladiator is excellent. Fastcart asks, I heard you wanted questions. Classic Marvel versus DC question: who would win in a fight, Black Panther or Black Lightning? Answer: whoever can talk jive better. Black Panther, because DC is shit.
Fuck you!
No, DC is shit. Their heroes are uninteresting. Their movies are absolute trash. They've done literally nothing with the extended universe that they could have done. It could have been great. But they're a bunch of fucking wankers, and they didn't. DC
You need to
sucks.
watch the cartoon movies then. Because
No.
DC cartoon movies are really fucking good, and the Marvel cartoon movies are not as good.
Superman is fucking boring. Wonder Woman is fucking
You clearly
boring.
haven't read the fucking comics if you think Superman's boring.
Superman is fucking boring. And
No, they've
Batman.
got to be clever with Superman.
I'm Batman. I hate Batman. I fucking hate
I can't
the Flash.
fucking talk
The
to you
Flash
anymore.
is the only one that's
You hate the Hornet. You don't like DC. You're not even a human being. You're
the only one that's
human
decent.
hating.
The only one that's decent is the Flash, and the Flash is a problem because every single anything of the Flash,
Which Flash?
any of them, there's 400 because they all go back in time and come back from the future and then go back to the past and have sex with each other and pull out more Flashes. It's terrible. Actually, I hate comics in general. Marvel's shit for that, too. How many fucking times are you gonna revive the fucking Phoenix? She's dead. Get the fuck over it. Fucking pieces of shit.
She has LTI.
Like DC Comics.
Play the piano as well.
Fastcart asks, what, did I miss the discussion of the Vulcan being in air quote starter, air quote ship? Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I missed that too.
Please rewind the podcast.
Oh, shit. Okay, good. Got it back. I accidentally hit space on a question and the question disappeared, but I got it back.
Control Z.
Space be crazy.
Let me
Space OP, please nerf.
let me load this up.
Space.
So Brybase asks, what do you think of the MFD sneak peek? I'm going to post the link in the chat for anyone that wants to look at it.
Look at it. Oh,
Looks good to me.
yeah.
Clean and crisp.
Yep. Clean and
It's
crisp
like-
and under control.
You've got to be able to read this at a glance, probably, hopefully, from at least 2 foot distance between you and monitor. So it stands to be seen if whether or not those details will hold up when you need to quickly reference it in a fight.
Why's it got a Wi-Fi button on it?
Tell my Wi-Fi lover her.
That hurt. That caused physical pain.
Oh yeah, and also Brybase is Brian. Don't tell anyone. Oh right, sorry, I told everyone. So the Clitmaster asks.
I'm sorry, but Brybase can't be Brian because he's turned up.
It's true. Brian is
He
here.
is failing in Brian's one distinguishing characteristic.
The Clipmaster asks, were you excited about the light switch like Kalik was?
Yes, I was very,
Why?
because it's awesome. Because that's one of the great things about Star Citizen is it's all of this kind of systemic stuff that they're putting in, and I'm like Calyx. It just that whole the number of times you have to put a hack in place just to get something done and get it out there, and we see a lot of that obviously in Star Citizen. Temporary functionality that's put there that isn't the real thing, and then they come along and eventually it gets replaced with what's meant to happen. And this is the first sort of item 2.0 stuff that we're seeing in ships. So I thought I was really happy for him, but you could tell he was really proud of this. He was really excited about this one small thing. It was a tiny little thing, but it actually meant so much, and it's kind of just the first step of a much bigger set of systemic or procedural functionality that we're going to see going forward. Everything's going to work like that. You're going to call a lift using item 2.0. Everything on your ship's going to work using item 2.0. So yeah, it's cool.
Hey everyone, so
Very
I
cool.
just want to let you all know the Ghost 404 came in late. So unfortunately we're going to start from the beginning. I hope that's okay with everyone. So
Well, as it's Ghost, okay.
Please rewind the podcast.
Just to expand quickly on what Sunjammer was saying, like the whole systemic thing is very, very cool because, like, you flip on the light switch and the light comes on, but if there's damage somewhere in between on the actual circuit that sends the information to say light go on, that light ain't gonna go on, and that's kind of cool. It's like reactive damage to your actual situation rather than something that's just been simulated and the game client is telling the game server client, no, don't make the fucking light work, it's meant to be knackered. It's actually going to be knackered, and you could reroute it or something like that. And it's really cool little stuff like that that is going to make the multi-crew engineers a lot more fun to be. Thank you,
If you
thank you,
script everything, you're limited to that functionality, and if you ever want to change it, you have to go around and rescript everything. If it's systemic and things are actually doing, because I mean, right from the beginning, Chris was talking about having heat pipes and power pipes and those sort of things. So if you have them, then you can, like Shiver was saying, you can damage them, you can over drive them, so maybe you get more power out of them, but then they go offline. It just gives you a lot more options, and you can add functionality to these components by changing the component, not by having to go in and manually re-script every light switch. So yeah.
I've wanted to ask this the entire time. AutoDJ, does the light switch turn you on or off?
Off.
I'm sorry.
That was pretty good.
You gave me nothing to elaborate with. You gave me a yes or no question.
I like yes or no questions.
It's a binary question, to put it in his part.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the Master of Harry Muff again asks, what do you think about a weapon which strengthens the shields until the shield generator overloads? Maybe.
Isn't that what the sucker punch weapons do?
No, because they disable, right? I mean,
disable
it would be
by overloading the power pipes.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I guess that is what the sucker punch kind of do. Yes. Fastcart asks, do you think that CIG will let us slingshot around a star in Quantum, and what effect will that have on time? Well, it depends on which way you're going, because if you're going forwards, you're great. If you're going backwards, then you're a shitty-ass superhero that never should have been made, even though it was made by Canadians. Go Canada.
That's not a Superman reference.
Superman going...
Star Trek 4 reference where they go around the sun to go and get the whales.
Don't like Star Trek 4. I thought it was a Superman reference where he goes around the planet to turn back time because of the reference to time.
Sun's a star. Earth isn't a star.
It's a star in my eyes.
You're a star in my eyes.
Aw. God. Captain Kirk is actually a Canadian superhero. I believe. Yeah, he is, isn't he?
Yeah, William Shatner's Canadian.
William Shatner's Canadian. All the best people are Canadian. It's just fact. Muff of Harry Master asks, Thrust! In what specific update are you most after in 3.1.0?
What updates are in 3.1.0?
I don't know.
Performance. Give us performance.
Yeah, there's nothing really in it, is there?
Guns.
Oh, something got moved.
Frames.
Additional frames, yeah. Less interdictions.
The Terrapin.
Yeah, there's some ships. And there's didn't they move the beacon, the initial release of the Tier 0, as they're calling it now. Release of the beacon, the service beacon into.
I prefer Bybase's the service beacon. Custom characters. Still no female character though.
Give it a rest.
No, I won't.
She's coming eventually.
They say.
End of the year.
Takes a while, I
3.4.
guess. The Clipmaster.
Tangent note. Erris, might I direct your attention to the chat for this particular conversation?
Which bind
Skype.
culling UI interface, Terrapin, Skype. Oh,
but geez. I don't think you can.
No,
see
I
Skype
can't.
chat,
I can't open Skype chat, or else it messes with all of the video.
Okay.
Discord.
It's funny. I laughed at it earlier.
I wish I could. I just once I set things up, I can't touch Skype or it kills me.
That sounds like Skype.
Miami Bat. Here, okay, Miami Bat. I freaking hate Skype. It is a piece of fucking shit. Microsoft should honestly burn in hell for what they did to an actually working anything. They basically take everything and fuck it up. Unfortunately, OBS Discord video works now, and it's great. You should see. It looks to me like everyone's frozen. Oh, everyone's frozen because I minimize.
You're not frozen. You're fine.
No, but if I minimize Skype, it minimizes in OBS, and I forgot about that. Sorry, everyone. Yeah, Skype froze. Here's the freaking thing. Discord video is great. It looks so much better. It's clean. It's crisp. The audio's better, and it takes less CPU power to run. I would love to use it. Unfortunately, OBS doesn't yet recognize Discord windows, so I can't have OBS grab from Discord yet. I'm working on it. Cause
I heard a rumor that I just made up that people who have got AMD CPUs can do it.
They can't, because anyone with an AMD CPU is actually
It's not APA. It's not a CPU. It's a GPU. It's the advanced graphics technology that AMD use.
AMD don't use anything that's advanced. They haven't advanced anything since 1980.
That's not true. They advanced the manufacturing process for their CPUs so much so that Nvidia and Intel are going, we might have to steal that idea.
There are two things to note. One, you should check Discord. And two, after the event, I can walk you through a workaround so that you can use Discord video in the future.
I love Discord. That's excellent. Who did that?
Also, we should have a disclaimer in here that the views expressed by Erris are not the views represented by Relay
Anyone.
Here's
SC,
the thing.
etc.
I've tried AMD a number of times. I've tried it on video cards twice. I've tried it on CPUs twice, and every single time I tried AMD, it literally fucked my entire PC.
That's because you were using an Intel motherboard.
No, I wasn't.
Nobody would tell Erris that
My
all
physical
64
cores are currently running on AMD.
It is my personal opinion that AMD can suck balls and does suck balls. At some point in the future,
Isn't that a selling point then?
No, because they don't suck your balls. They suck other people's balls while you watch, which is really
in
not a selling point.
fairness, the price of some of the Intel CPUs, I expect someone to suck my balls, and they don't.
Moving on.
No, I'm not moving on. I hate AMD. And AMD keeps screwing up everyone that I know too. Like Six Steps and Caps, he went and bought a whole bunch of AMD stuff, and none of it fucking worked. And he switched over to Nvidia and Intel because AMD can literally just they can take a cactus and shove it in any one of their orifices. I don't care which.
Age, no.
Age, no?
Age.
H?
H.
H?
Processing, mean.
I'm so confused.
Erris.
I hate you. I don't know. We'll see.
It's an H.
If Intel admitted it's an M now, apparently. It's an E, you damn bastards. If Intel continues doing not so great, then I'll have to reevaluate the next time I build a PC. But my current PC with oh I get it. Yeah. My current Intel is great. My current NVIDIA is great. I've got no issues with either. They both just run. I don't have to worry about drivers. I don't have to worry. I wanted to play The Witcher 1 a long time ago, but because I was on the video card that I had, fuck, I don't even remember. God, this is so long ago.
That's how we feel about this conversation.
Yeah. You know what? Fine. TLDR, I dislike AMD. The end. The last... two more questions. One, the Clip Master. I think Erris would enjoy the televised comic shows better than the comics and the movies. How does the cast feel about the TV shows? I watched 3 seasons of Arrow. I watched 2 seasons of Flash, and I watched 2 seasons of Supergirl. They were all pretty good.
Gotham's really good.
I fucking hate Gotham. It is a pile of ass.
You're a pile of ass.
Ghost.
No, he's Canadian.
Touché.
And last question, Commander Wolf asks, do you think they will improve the performance in 3.1? Have they mentioned anything about the progress of improving the performance? As far as I know, the performance will be performing in a performed improvement, possibly.
Didn't they have a review of the performance improvement meetings to improve the performance output from the performance output team to improve performance and increase the regulatory bureaucracy in improving their performance?
Yes, but the performance wasn't good enough, so they've gone back to re-perform the performance meetings that they performed previously, and now they will post-perform.
They should refactor the performance team so that they post-perform better than they did before.
And then the performance team can refactor the performance-enhancing performance code.
After they
I'm
go
looking
through the
forward.
pipeline.
I'm looking forward to more performant performance.
Perforce, perchance, performance. Enhance.
Well, they check it into Perforce.
It's true.
So they don't lose any of that performance.
Luckily, we have reached the time of the day that we're going to say good day, goodbye.
We're going to outperform.
Good night.
We're going to perform out. AutoDJ, thank you so much for coming on. Where can you be found?
On the bass, playing music, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, unless my programming has been taken offline by one of our live DJs. If you'd like to see when this tends to happen, you can visit us on the spectrum at thebase.sc/schedule. Otherwise, I'm always on the bass.
And you should check out the bass because the bass is run by Rico, a prominent Canadian.
Monkey.
Yes. Sunjammer, as always, thank you so much for being on. Also, a sincere thank you for all the work that you and Desmarius and CS and Stormy all do on the transcripts, and Nakara as well. Relay wouldn't exist without you guys, so thank you.
Welcome.
Everyone should thank Sunjammer. 3 cheers. Hip hip.
Oh.
Hooray. Hip hip.
Thanks, Sunjammer.
Hip hip. Hooray.
Thanks, Sunjammer and Desmarius. Desmarius, as a reminder, please stop sending us squirrels.
Never. Shiver, where can you be found?
I do one of those live shows and take the AutoDJ offline over on the base on Wednesdays at 1900 UTC. It's going to be one of the mad episodes where there's everyone that listens. In fact, more people are on the show than listen to the show this week. So at least 3.
One other thing before we go, there is always a Podsat Saturday, though I believe that this week is not a full Podsat, it's a half Podsat. But as always, in 2 hours from now, go check out the Astro Pub with Paul, the Astropub Paul Astropub from the Astropub.
He will be
Improving
performing.
performance.
Yes. Check him out over at twitch.tv/theastropub because he has actual intelligent opinions where the rest of us kind of just sit here and mumble incoherently until someone tells us to stop. And until someone tells us to stop, we're going to keep rumbling and mumbling.
Oh, God, please stop.
Erris,
Oh, okay.
you should stop mumbling.
Well, I will stop. But thank you all so much for hanging out. It was a pleasure. I haven't actually dropped any frames for 38 minutes, apparently. I don't know why. I'm down to only 6% dropped frames.
You pre-dropped them all at the start of the show.
Apparently, I dropped them all at the start and not since, which means I'm going to try to stream on Tuesday. So try and join me Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to try and stream some Star Citizen. After that, check out relay.sc. Find us on Twitter, on Twitch, on Discord, whatever you want. It's all up there. Support us on Patreon. Do a jig. And most of all, talk to people. And make sure you're okay, and make sure the people that you love are okay too, because that matters.
Be excellent to each other.
Yeah. Thank you, and we'll see you in the verse.